Hope everybody is doing well this morning. It is Monday, right? It's Monday. Oh my God. It's Monday. Heaven help us. But we are here in the flesh. So welcome. It's your coach, Carla Nicole. And welcome to the episode of I Would Coach. So, these shows, the I Would Coach series, are to allow me to provide my coaching expertise and advice to celebrities that's going through some challenges, difficulties, struggles, concerns. And I wanted to make sure that in order to do that, I wanted to make sure that we converse and talk about some very deep issues that's going on with one of my favorite singers. I love his acting, and let's just call it a challenge that he seems to be going through as far as his personal relationships, which is never easy when you're a celebrity, and it's also never easy just doing it, period. So let's talk about this real quick. It's not going to be long. This show is only going to be about 20 minutes, 25 at the max. But I do want to make sure that I address some things about what he's going through. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Coach Carla Nicole. My mission is to make sure that I provide you with the information you're needing in regards to relationships, love affairs, creating some better life experiences while we're here, right? So welcome. Okay, so let's get started. I want to talk about some of the challenges that I'm noticing with Tyrese is that he's had some relationships that failed. I think his number one relationship was his past marriage and love affair. So I want to first dive into that first. Okay, shall we? We're going to talk briefly about how challenging it is that Tyrese had went through a love affair that actually ended, unfortunately, because of, marriage difficulties and so on and so forth. But I don't want to talk too much about that per se, as much as I want to talk about how his divorce really plunged him into a deep sadness and a deep depression. Tyrese really struggled with the loss of his marriage, the loss of his wife, him having to now co-parent with his daughter. And I think that we don't discuss enough as coaches, therapists, we don't talk enough about this. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, first of all, the loss that a father goes through when he loses his family. Number one, when a man, ends up divorcing, he ends up losing not just his wife and his relationship, right? But he also loses, unfortunately, he loses his access, daily access to his children, to his daughter, to his kids. And so I want to talk about that because I think a lot of times we miss that, or we misstep, or we don't pay attention to it too much because we just get caught up in, oh, he's a celebrity, I love him, oh, it's so sad to see his marriage end. Yes, all of that's true. However, I want to talk about how sad it is that he not only just can't have easy access to his daughter as he did when they were married, but now he also sadly has lost his wife, and unfortunately the life as he knew it. Now here's what's deep. When we look at the dynamic with Tyrese, if he was my client, I would explain to him that unfortunately when you lost your family and when you lost your relationship dynamic that you had, it's sad But actually, it's great for you to realize that when you're in a relationship, relationships cause for us to learn a lot about ourselves. So I would actually encourage Tyrese to consider doing some actual real gut checking on how he actually connected with his wife when he first got with her. If he tried to skip over his, I would say, his inner thoughts about how she really felt in the beginning, he maybe can avoid having this scenario continue to be an experience with him in his future. So I would ask him, did you really notice if your ex-wife, if when you were first dating her, did you notice that she was really kind of just tolerating you? Was she really present? Did she really want to be there? Or was it more that you wanted a marriage, you wanted a relationship, you were really into her, and you wanted her to want you, so you just overlooked the fact that your gut was kind of telling you, I don't know if she's really into me like this. I just know that this is what I want. And because I want this, this is how I want to focus on how we develop, how we create our life together. Because here's the thing, if Tyrese was my client, I would explain to him, when we really want something for real, sometimes we can actually manifest what we want, not just by saying it, but we can manifest what we want just by what we see in our minds. The vision, how we see it, what we desire, how we desire what we need is in the mind first. So if we really, really desire to have a relationship, a marriage, or whatever, a lot of times we see that actual dynamic before it actually comes to be. So I would ask Tyrese first. And this is something that you guys can also think about in your own personal scenarios. If you can think back to the beginning of your relationship, were you always the initiator to spending the time with her? Were there moments where you felt like there was her reach out to see how you were? Was there really a care there in the beginning? Do you recall that? When you think back in your honest opinion and your honest understanding of what you experienced for real, do you really think that you felt there was a want, that she really cared, that she really wanted to be in that relationship? The reason I'm saying it's vitally important that you look at this is because your desire to still want to be married is still here. And my concern for you, if I was your coach, I would tell you I'm concerned that that desire supersedes your experience that in the past, and possibly that's going to come to you in the future, because you really want to be married. You really want to be a husband. You really want to have the family dynamic. I would be the first to tell you, because of your celebrity and because of your strong desire to want to be married, you might want to pause that and divorce from that. Here's why. When we want something so bad, when we desire something so much, a lot of times we will do anything we possibly can do to receive it, to get it, and we'll go to the extreme of even ignoring our own gut understanding of what we're experiencing as being off, just so that we can have that vision that we have in our mind, which is to be married, so that that can be the experience. I'm helping you to see why I would suggest hold back doing this, because a lot of times, not just you, Ty, but a lot of people that are in relationships are in them but feel unfulfilled, unloved. The reason why is because they forced it. They wanted it so much, regardless of how the other person really showed them when they were with them, how they really felt based upon how they're evasive, not really involved, kind of not really, they're not really concerned. They don't really show up. They're just iffy. They're spotty as far as how they try to check on you and stuff. When those things happen, rather than disregarding it and saying, oh, maybe I'm just being clingy, no, pay attention. Because you are the one in your inner soul, in your being. You're the one that really wants marriage. You're the one that really wants this relationship. You're the one that really desires this dynamic. So when you desire a dynamic like this, we can get to the point where we will manifest what we want, yes, but the end result is never pretty, because we are not allowing for relationships to evolve into what they're going to be. Is it going to be platonic? Is it going to be a lust affair? Is it going to be a like affair? Are we going to be in a situationship? Are we friends with benefits? Are we lovers? Are we we're just jumping in, oh, this person's going to be my wife. You didn't allow enough time to see if that's what that's going to develop into, because you were headstrong on seeing that you want that relationship so bad, that style of relationship so bad, that you're headstrong. When we're headstrong, we push aside our intuition, our own personal understanding of what we feel, because we start to kind of push back. Oh, maybe, we try to digress, or we'll try to say, oh, that's just me being a little needy or whatever. But I don't think that's true. I think this person really wants to be with me. They don't really call me that often. They don't check on me. I don't really get a relationship feel off of them per se, but I want it so bad. And I know that, eventually they'll come around. And why are you doing this to yourself? Here's what is my other concern. When, Tyrese, you desire to have a marriage, is it because you are trying to fill a need inside you? See, I was also the same way. I wanted marriage. I wanted a long-term relationship. I wanted all the same things. And I see that we share in the same horoscope. We're both Capricorns. So by nature, we are automatically going to desire a romantic relationship, and we want to have the family and all of those things. However, it comes a point that when you start to look at how you're going into these dynamics and relationships, you're finding yourself in them and finding yourself really frustrated by the end result. You're not getting what you really want. Because when you really want a relationship and a relationship shows up, it should have a reciprocal energy going in and out of flow. In other words, if I want to see you, you want to see me, there's a continuum of flow of energy that we really engage, we really enjoy each other. If that's not the case, then what are we doing other than forcing to want to have that image in my mind come to be in reality? And sometimes we're forcing it to the point where we're forcing it so bad we can't let it go. My coaching advice to Tyrese, or anyone in a situation like this that finds themselves coming out of a love affair, or you've been in a marriage for a long time and now you're going back into the single life, just enjoy your time. Enjoy your space. Learn to be appreciative of your singleness, your single time, your solo, your being by yourself. It's vitally important to just really take on being okay with being by yourself, being single, not being so caught up in, I have to have a relationship. I have to have somebody love me. I have to have somebody tell me I'm their wife or their husband. I have to. That is going to cause you to make a rash, hurried decisions, to be in relationships, even clearly when you yourself in your soul knows this person isn't that into you. They're just tolerating you. They know what you have. You're a celebrity, so people know who you are. So that's even more so that you need to pause and start to see, is this a heart connection that we're having? Or are you just trying to be in my life because you want to get the benefits of having my life impact you? See, as a celebrity, I would coach him and explain, you have a high life, or the soft life, like so many ladies would like to have. Well, most of ladies want to have the soft life. Celebrity brings that. You bring travel, you bring mansions, and you have a lot of wealth and cash and access to different things that the commoners don't. So because of that, some people will try to shape and mold themselves into looking like they want you. They can look like they want to be with you, but do they? The question is really, I don't know if they want to be with me. Maybe they do. But is it that they want to be with you, or is it that they want to share your life so they can get those perks? Which is it? And you have to sit back and be like, wait a minute, before I get gung ho and say, she's my wife, this is who I want to be with, let me allow some time to evolve and let me have her show up and show me who she is. It's not always hard or easy, but it is true that we need to take our time. And even more so if you're a celebrity. If you find yourself wanting to be in a relationship, it's fine. But the problem is a lot of times we're not. So we have to sit back and say, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to dial back and reconsider something that's more important, which is let me change how I see my relationship. Let me allow the relationship to reveal itself just in the time we share together. So if we're going to share time, now I want to be able to see you. Are you here because of me and seeing me and being with me? Or are you here because you want the perks, the soft life, the wealth, the access to celebrity? What is it that you really want? And it's not hard to see. I would definitely coach you on how to verify that as well. And just to give you one sound way to see if someone is in your life to want to be with you is to see if you're being tolerated. How are you being treated? Do they really sound like they want to be with you? It's not hard. You have to sit back and look at this, and you have to be honest with you. Here's what I also am concerned about with Tyrese. I don't think Tyrese is very honest with himself when it comes to love affairs. We have to remember that our childhood traumas, our childhood experiences that weren't so positive or weren't so good still do impact our adult life, who we are and who we become. Those scars that we got when we were little, yes, they're healed now. But they're still scars, no doubt, and some they're going to remain on our body for life. I was skating, I don't know, I might have been about maybe 6 or 7, at my grandmother's, and I busted open my knee. I have a keloid on my knee now. But at the end of the day, I can still remember me busting my knee. And is that a trauma? Do I still go back to it? No, but I can still remember it. So when we go through something in a relationship that we cared about when we were young, especially if we maybe didn't have the greatest relationship with our mothers or our fathers, our parents, listen, that's a huge impact on what you're trying to do in your love affairs coming up. So with that said, if you have a lot of issues, mommy issues as they call them, Tyrese, I would strongly suggest that you really deep dive into what issues you had with your mother, and then systematically think about, what am I desiring in a wife so bad that I have to have one in my life to heal this pain? What do I desire in my life so bad that I have to heal this pain? Say, for instance, your mother wasn't affectionate. So now you just want to hear that person tell you that they love you, that you matter. But that need and that ponder and that desire to hear a woman tell you that she loves you may not be because you just want to hear it. However, it may be because of the lack that your mother didn't give it to you when you were young. You may not have felt wanted or loved by your mother. You may have felt like you were just a burden to your mom. Every time you turned around, you felt like she just couldn't get what she needed to get because of you. You may have internalized in your spirit that you were a burden to her, as an example. And so these internal thoughts, these internal situations that we have going on in our soul, a lot of times is the reason why we're so eager to get to a relationship that we call married, or we want something solidified. We want to have something that shows that we matter. that all may also be because of mommy issues. Look at that. Pay attention to it. And not just talk about it, but look and dissect. Okay, so when my mother didn't do this, when my mother didn't say those words, when my mother didn't do or apologize for her hurting me, what I did is I internalized that inside my soul that I wasn't enough. So because I internalized that in my soul that I wasn't enough, I now find myself in my dating desires to have a woman just say she wants to be with me so I can heal that lack. But that's not going to fix it. This is where coaching comes in. This is where you have to change. Okay, you know what? I need to figure out how to love myself. No woman can heal that. Only you can, because you actually internalized it in your own understanding of the lack being thereof. So in order to heal that, you have to be the one to be like, okay, I love myself enough to where I'm going to sit down and figure out how to change this perception. That is a perception. You perceived that maybe, and this is just as an example, you may have perceived that you were a burden in your mother's life, and that's why you didn't get kissed, or that's why you didn't get loved, or that's why she was mean to you, or you found yourself getting unnecessarily whooped, or whatever. And so this is why you're finding yourself eager to run and chase and be in a relationship. A lot of times this is why we continue to deep dive ourselves into relationships to heal the younger version of ourselves. But love, you cannot heal it through relationships. You have to heal yourself through doing the inner work for yourself. And that takes for you to step away from hurrying your spirit to get married again, hurrying your spirit to try to find out, well, I just want a woman to claim me and say she loves me and all of that. That sounds nice and that sounds fun and enjoyable. However, that won't heal the pain that you still have even after you get a woman that does that. And then also, last but not least, I also think you need to really review, do you have abandonment issues? Do you feel abandoned? Do you find yourself feeling abandoned since your ex-wife did this? Since your ex-wife left you and your daughter and all that? Do you feel abandonment? It's important that you look at this, because if abandonment issues is a part of your reasoning for why you want a marriage so bad, it's also something that you're trying to heal by getting into and jumping back into. So why I'm telling you, I believe without a shadow of a doubt, look, pay attention, really research what it is you desire in these love affairs that is trying to heal a part of you that feels either abandoned, the childhood version of you that felt that, you were unheard, unloved, whatever. And then look at these things. I know you're going to therapy, so in your therapy sessions, you're probably finding some things out. Yes, but in coaching, what I would then do is, after you have the understanding of what is causing you to be so in a rush or so in a hurry or so on pursuit to be in a marriage so bad, after you went through this already, you have to now start paying attention to what inside of me am I trying to feel by being in a relationship, by being in a marriage. What is it I'm trying to fill up here? What is it? I need to know, so that once I know what it is, I can start sitting back and saying, okay, this is what it is that caused me to want to be in a relationship. Now I can sit back and be like, okay, so now that I know I have some things I need to work on, I can now still engage people and make connections and all of those things. You can still do that in life, but you don't have to put the pressure on you or that connection to be in a marriage, to be in a relationship, to make something more than it is too soon, too fast. Because when we try to hit the ground running and try to rush into something, we end up making a mess of it every time. There's no doubt. We wanted, oh, I want it so bad. I want to be married. I want to have a relationship. I want to hear somebody tell me they love me. And all of those things usually stem from, like I said, childhood trauma, abandonment issues. There's things that you still need to get healed. I mean, there's still, baggage coming from the past relationship. Listen, take your time, but also realize that once you're going through therapy, you need coached from that point on to understand, okay, now that I have the knowledge of where I'm at, what has been the reason why I have to be in a marriage and all of those things. No. Okay, once I've gotten to this understanding of myself, what's the steps to now get me into a different version, elevate out of it? Knowledge of it is one thing. Problem solving and healing it and fixing it and changing it is a whole nother thing. Because it's easy to learn of where you started and what happened and how it happened, and these are the different scenarios that caused it to happen. All of that is what it is. Okay, but once we get that information, then what? How are we going to move forward? Divorce wanting a relationship. Divorce wanting marriage. When you do this, guess what happens? You might find out that everything you're wanting and desiring in that particular dynamic or relationship style, you may end up getting 10 times over just by pulling out from wanting it so bad. Sometimes our want for something is causing us to get everything but. Causing us to make a mess of everything we think we want. It's making a mess of everything that and anyone attracted to you. They know you want to get married. They're going to try to present themselves as such. Oh, yes, I'm her. Is she? You got to pay attention, because it's easy to be like, oh, yes, Tyrese, I'm the wife you're looking for. That's easy. But when you say, look, I'm over trying to find all of that. Let me work on how to get rid of this particular issue inside myself, or issues, and let me start to work on these things and take the necessary steps to change them. Because it's easy, I'm telling you, it's easy to want something so bad that you can want it to the point that you do everything to get it, and you will. However, like I said earlier, it's the end results that make you super frustrated. It makes you super exhausted. You then find out, man, I don't even have what I need. I have what I like, yes, but this person doesn't even really engage me. I feel like I'm in a relationship, yes, but I'm not in a relationship that this person really wants to be in. They say they love me, yes, but is it that they do? There's a difference between saying and doing. Love that you receive on an energetic level or through action is totally different than someone saying it and proving it otherwise by doing actions that are to the contrary. I'm just saying. Make sure to share this video, subscribe to my channel, understand something. These are the kind of situations that doesn't just happen to celebrities. These kind of situations happen to us, commoners, all the time. We're trying to make it make sense. I want a man, I want a relationship, I want a girl, I want a relationship, and all those things, and then you're sitting back and you're like, okay, wanting it doesn't matter. Needing it doesn't matter, but when I truly sit down and find out, okay, I really am excited that I have someone that wants to be here. And now it's not a force. Now it's just very, very rhythmic, very simple. When I want to do something and he wants to do something, or for men, if you got a woman that wants to be there and you want to be there, it's simple. It's not all about, I have to have this. We spend more time saying what we have to have versus stopping and saying, well, wait a minute, is that a need or is that a want? And is this want messing me up? Because every time I want it, I get something, but it's not what my end result is that I desire. You got to do your own eval. You got to evaluate and be like, this isn't something that I mean, I desire it, but it's not working for me. So start to change it. Make different ideas and change it. Be about what you want by changing it up. It's very easy to do. I'm just saying. So like I said, I would definitely coach Tyrese Gibson to just let go of the marriage desire and really start to focus on his single solo life and enjoy it while he can, and realize that he will have everything he wants in himself when he starts to realize that this person right here is who matters the most. Not who's beside you. It's you. And then also focus on your purpose. That changes all your other desires when you know why you're here on the planet. Period. I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm your coach, Carla Nicole. Have a great day, guys. Bye.